Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of What's Love's Got to Do with It. I'm so excited to be back with a brand new episode. Today, I've got a very beautiful special guest. Her name is Belle. She is a Sydney drag legend. She's one of my bestest girlfriends in the whole entire world. And I'm really excited. This has been a long time coming. I've been trying to get Riz on the pod for ages because Charisma, Carmen, and I, we work together every week at Universal on Oxford Street. So if you're ever in Sydney, come and see us on a Wednesday night. We're doing Leading Ladies with Theatre Girls, which is very camp. But Charisma is just an absolute gem of a human being, and she's a very rare human being that you come across in your life that just adopts you and takes you in, and she's full mum. She's my mum. To share her with you is really exciting, and I'm really honored to be able to interview her and talk to her, and for you guys to learn more about the sensational human that is Belle. So I don't want to waste any more time. I want to dive straight in with my beautiful sister Belle. We'll be back right after this. All right, everybody, welcome back to What's Else Got to Do with It. And I'm so excited and honored to welcome my beautiful special guest. She's my sister from here in Sydney and one of my bestest friends in the world. Please welcome to the podcast, Belle.
Hooray!
Finally
made it.
Finally, I know this has been a long time coming. You've met my other good sister Carmen, get it, and we're the three of us. We do a show together on a Wednesday night, which happens to be tonight. We're gonna be getting nice and deep, and then go to work and be gay.
Gonna work a bit sore by the sounds of things. Great.
Oh, I'm not going in that hard. Calm down.
Ease me into it, please, Anaconda. You know I'm a top.
Oh, I know. I'm a bottom, so I will. I will oblige. But Belle, so good to have you here finally. Tell the people about, because you're one of the, I think I would classify you as like a matriarch of the Sydney drag scene. Sure. So tell people a little bit about your drag journey and where you're at now.
That's a really nice way of saying you're old. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Believe it or not, I started my career at the Imperial over 20 years ago. I won't say exactly how many because I actually don't know, but probably hitting 30 years now, in a competition where we were auditioning to be part of the Rocky Horror Drag Show. And I won the role of Janet. Yeah.
Oh,
Woo!
She's a musical theatre girly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I was only meant to run for a few weeks because I didn't really know if anyone was going to turn up. And like almost 2 years later, that's when the run ended. And then they went on to do like another musical theatre show, but we had to drop the cast because we insisted on more money. And I got fired.
The industry strikes again.
Drag's over. I'm not doing it anymore. That's it. But gradually, I just like went out to clubs, was being seen. My great friend and your great friend Trevor Ashley, he booked me for a few things, and eventually, after working 12 years at ARC on a Thursday with just the one gig, everything ballooned and blossomed, and now I'm old and running the place, which is great.
Yeah. Running the whole street.
Running the
street. But so my favorite thing about you is like, even from like when I started coming over to Sydney to visit, you're always like that face that everybody sort of remembers because you're at like key points, like you're at Stonewall or you're at Universal or the Midnight Shift as it was when I first started coming over. And you just be that comfort. You're a comfort blanket of drag. You just have this like warmth about you that just invites you in. Is that just a natural skill, or have you developed that?
I'm just naturally a lovely person, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
thought so.
I did actually learn quite early on in my career that making the effort to say hello to people, especially people you don't know, does pay dividends in the long run for your career. And if they can make the effort to come out and see your shows, the least you can do is say hi and give everybody their moment. And so that's what I try to do. And I still try and do that today. I know that we hide our gas bag in the dressing rooms quite a lot, but in that journey from the stage to the dressing room,
always talking
to as many people as I can.
I know it's because I was thinking about this like when you were coming on. I was like, because you are just this like you're just very motherly and you always adopt people into your family. But I felt that when I moved here. Like honestly, Charisma, for people that don't know, came over to Perth and collected me from a box. She came out of a big box. And then collected me to come over to Sydney when I was moving here. That's how good she is.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky to be able to be the one to welcome you to Sydney, which was very exciting. I was in that box for quite a long time, actually.
How long were you in the
Because it had
box?
to be preset before your number and all that stuff. And then everybody carried me through the club in the box. I couldn't even get to walk to the stage and then climb in. Like, I was carried all the way through that bloody venue. It was scary.
It's a full surprise. I died when you popped out. I was like, how the fuck did they coordinate this? Because I thought I thought I had my finger in all the pies of that night, and
Yeah,
turns out,
little
no.
secret.
I know, and I hate surprises, but it was a good one. It
Good
was one of the best ones. Yeah. Do you like surprises?
Do I like surprises? Yeah, of course I do. I think everyone likes surprises, right?
I struggle
Don't they?
sometimes.
I don't know. I guess it depends on the surprise, though.
Yeah.
When you drop their jacks and it's quite large, that's a lovely surprise. That's really
It is.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's always a blessing, unless you haven't prepared.
Gifts. Yeah, birthday time, some lovely surprise gifts and stuff is always, I think, quite wonderful. But I'm pretty good at going with the flow, so even if they're crap, I can do the, oh my God, I love it. And it's all good.
I love that, because you are very chill. Do you think that comes from like your because you are very get on, go with the flow kind of girl. Do you think you get that from growing up? Were you like that as a kid?
Yeah, I was. My family aren't.
Yeah.
My family like a little excitement and a little drama every now and then. But yeah, I don't know. It just never really appealed to me. And it takes a lot to get me rolled up and angry or crazy or mad.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no,
Yeah,
I think going with the flow is much easier way of living life, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why we all work together quite well, is that we adapt.
That's right.
That ability to adapt, I think, in our industry is so important. And you see so many young girls these days that just freak out when something goes amiss and they can't cope. But I feel like maybe it's an old school drag tactic.
I think learn it as you go along, don't you? It's not something that like any of us are really born with. And every time you do a gig, it's an experience that you can learn from. And I think, if you're a little bit oblivious to the world and only like things when they go perfect, then you'd really struggle in this career, because nothing ever goes right ever, especially if we're not running the show. Like, crazy stuff happens, like being booked for a marathon run to entertain the crowds and walking into your stage and finding that they're just steps. Like, it's just wild what other people think we can do and what they supply for us.
Yeah, and I just make it work. It was honestly some of the shit we get thrown into. We did a gig on the weekend and we tried, they were selling charity keys, or selling keys for these like lock boxes, and you bought the key and your key goes in, and if you unlock you get like it was like
$1,000 prize. Yeah.
And then this woman kept coming up to us and she says, there's 5 keys left. So Chris and I were like, we'll get them, we'll buy them. If the prize isn't gone, clearly the winning keys are there. Yeah. She just would not take our money.
Absolutely refused to allow us to win that prize.
It turns out drag queen money isn't good enough for the people. So wild. Because like, you've been doing drag now, you said, for over 20 years. I don't want to age you, but I think you actually look younger now than you did when you started.
Probably.
It's weird. Drag always, I think, ages you when you're younger, but then when you get older, it actually makes you look more youthful, I think, because you figure out how to do it. But what are some like your highlights that you've like those pinnacle moments that you feel that you've experienced in your drag career, like the standouts? Wow.
There's been so many fabulous things. Like the first time you step out onto the Mardi Gras stage to tens of thousands of people and they're all cheering for you, that's a pretty emotional moment that always sticks with you. I was lucky enough for one of my first Mardi Gras shows to be with 6 other incredible legendary drag queens. So just doing the rehearsals with them and watching them all chat and laugh and joke and like just the backstage moments are all really my highlights and where my memories sit. And been flown around the world. So there's been moments where we've been flown to LA for Richard Branson and going to parties with celebrities, loving that you're there, others refusing to take a photo. We won't mention any names.
Name them.
Moments like that. Going to Bali on a holiday and randomly being asked to judge a drag competition because they know who you are and coming over and being like, look, we love you so much, and showing like you on this as their screensaver. And it's just like this little thing like that. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah. This is so crazy, because you don't, when you're at home in Sydney, you don't realize
The impact.
like the impact that you have, and not just here at home, but all around town. And
Yeah.
so it's all of those little moments when you go to other places and you're recognized and stuff that you realize just how big of a community it is, and the role that we play within that is really important.
Yeah, because you're like the Sydney reputation, I think, precedes like the space that you're in. And like for us, like growing up in Perth, we always looked at you girls. It was like the pinnacle of what we wanted to do. Then I
Yeah.
met you and I was like, oh, they're just like me.
What a bitch.
No, but you do. And it's so fascinating. Like this city, like it's a tough city to like crack into. But once you're in, like it is such a family and
Mm,
like you foster that so amazingly. Like case in point, how long the Slave for Pay was running at
yeah.
Universal. That was 6 years. So Slave for Pay for everyone listening is like it's an amateur opening night kind of thing where you start fostering and then you did a big comms. Do you love that? You're not really a drag mum, I per se. You don't have any drag kids, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't claim any of them as my daughters. You
Yeah.
know, we're all related. Like they call me Auntie Charisma because
Yeah.
I'll help out and
But we don't want
love
the
to
we
give
don't
my
want too much.
advice,
Yeah.
solicited and unsolicited. But I don't want to lay claim to anyone just in case they turn out to be a dickhead.
True.
A few of those. So yeah, but I think I had lots of queens when we were growing up and learning the craft that would help us, like Minnie Cooper and Mitzi McIntosh and Renee Mungle Bitch and stuff. And aside from Minnie, no one else really had a daughter. You know, you just ask the questions and they would give you, you know, the answer, and that's how the community was back then. And so I just give back and foster the same kind of thing.
Yeah, because the motherhood thing is like having drag kids is not really a thing in Australia too much, really. Like it's never been anything that like I had a daughter because it all seems fun when you're young. I love when you see baby queens having daughters, and you're like, "What
I
are
know.
you?" That's the blind leading the fucking blind, and then they go, "I've got 10 daughters." I was like, "You have been around for 2 minutes. How do you have 10 daughters?"
Oh, it's so crazy, and it's always the nastiest baby queen with the daughters, and oh,
Yeah,
treat them like shit. Oh,
yeah,
it's so awful
yeah.
to watch.
Oh,
No,
it's so funny. It really
you know,
makes me
yeah.
laugh.
I think
But
like by not having daughters and running things that way, that's what makes the Sydney community so open and so sisterly.
yeah,
Because as soon
yeah,
as you start breaking off into families, then there becomes this rivalry, which we don't really want.
yeah, it's not something we want
It's
to
just not
foster.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you always think like when did you first discover drag? When was that first moment that you oh that's a thing?
I don't really know. Like, I definitely dressed up in mum's clothes and heels
Yeah.
like my entire life. Like, from the time I started walking, I was wearing her shoes and stuff. So it's just something that's always been there. But I guess when I first realized it could be something more serious was when I was sneaking into the Imperial Hotel at 16 and I saw the incredible drag queens there, which were Mitzi McIntosh, Chelsea Bunn, and Tess Tickle. And I was just like, oh my God, this is incredible. I can do this. The show that we were watching was Priscilla, the drag
Yeah.
show, and an incredible drag show called Bitter Charity, which is based on Sweet Charity. So awesome. Loved it.
How did you go? I can't imagine sneaking. I knew because I never snuck into a club. I sat at the back when I was 17 of Connection, but I sat in a car and I looked at my friends in there. And I was too scared to go in. But what's that? Was it a thrill? I don't know. What was
It's a little bit nerve wracking, to be honest. It was for me. It was a little bit nerve wracking.
Well, they weren't as strict,
They were
were they?
strict back then. It wasn't like as crazy back then. They weren't like taking your photos on the way in and all of those kind of things. And so it was just, I don't know, just you just have to act like you are old enough. You just try not to look nervous and stuff. But it was always like embarrassing if like they didn't let you in because there's a lineup and stuff. So you know you're taking a risk. But I did find that once they started seeing your face a little bit, then it was much easier because they're like, oh yeah, that face has been in here heaps of times, so must be of age. But I've never been a huge drinker, so even like when I was sneaking to the club, I wasn't drinking or anything like that.
Yeah.
I was just like there to dance and watch the drag shows, really.
Yeah, makeup boys.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. You have to have nerves of steel. I just couldn't. I nearly did, but I just couldn't get the courage to walk up to the door. And I was like, Oh, I just waited. I waited the 6 months and I went in.
See, there you go. That's only 6 months, but you're tiny as well. So as soon as you walk up to the door, they're already questioning if this 7-year-old should be coming into this place. Do you know what I mean?
I still get
I
it
was
to
at
this
least
day.
like the same height or a little bit taller than a lot of the people in line, and so it wasn't so obvious, I guess, for me.
Because you're a tall girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talkish.
Where did you tell us about? I want to know about you growing up. Where did you grow up? I want to know about. Were you a theatre kid? It's
Well,
fascinating.
I started dancing when I was 8.
What kind of
and I had, like
dance?
a small dance school. And we just did like jazz and tap,
Cute.
and they were like kind of family friends. Really, we just lived in the same street, but they were professional dancers that opened the dance school, and so I went. That was the H&K kids. That's what they were
The
called.
H&K kids.
H&K kids, and we used to do like shows at Marrickville Metro for the special
the shopping
occasions
centre.
at the shopping centre. Yeah. And we used to, at Christmas time, I'd be like dressed as an elf and we'd be running around like saying Merry Christmas to everyone, handing out balloons as elves and stuff. So that's how it started with my performance. Yeah. So just been doing that my whole life, but I wasn't really like wasn't really into musical theatre. No one in my family is, so I wasn't exposed to it until like much later.
What was your thing as a kid? Did you like do sports or as well, or did you do
No, like swimming and dancing, that was it.
Were you a pop music girly?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, like
Who
one
was
of my
your favorite
bands
band
in the whole wide world was Girlfriend. I don't know, you're probably too young for Girlfriend, but
No,
the
I remember
original
Girlfriend.
Spice Girls, they're totally the original Spice Girls. So I loved Girlfriend. We went to Miranda Shopping Centre to see Girlfriend live, which was very, very exciting.
They were the days. They were the days. I remember when all like the bands, like those like Australian bands or like Australian Idol people and stuff would go into the shop, pop stars. They go to the shopping centre.
I went to see Bardo when they were out.
Did you? Which shopping centre?
I can't remember which one that was, but yeah, I was there. Actually, I went to the entertainment quarter because they were performing their final concert for MTV there. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. And speaking of entertainment quarter, you worked in the CD store there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I worked for Sanity.
That is one of my favorite things.
I went insane at Sanity.
Yeah. The dream. What was it like working at Sanity? Sanity was our like a CD, DVD, video store that was all around through like the 90s and the early 2000s, and it was wild. That was like a dream. What was that like?
Yeah, I know everyone has the dream, but when you're on the inside, it's really not that exciting, and that was like lots of work and lots of like selling and stuff. I was lucky though, because my job was at the entertainment quarter, which was their flagship store, so we had celebrities coming in all the time. Like Avril Lavigne, we had to close the store for her so that she could go CD shopping and buy some DVDs. We had like awesome people. Remember when Delta Goodrem was dating that tennis player? I think Mark Philippoussis, or
yes,
his name is.
Yeah.
The day before that all broke and went like nationwide, they had come into the store together, and he walked around the store and picked up all of her CDs and all of her DVDs and stuff, and was like, "Can I have these, please?"
Mama, I'd be having a heart attack.
I know. I was like, "Sure, no worries." And then I didn't know who he was because I'm not a tennis player.
Yeah.
And then she came in, she's like, "Will you stop? Put those back. Stop it." And then I realized it was Delta and stuff, and she was so embarrassed and gorgeous. And then the next day it all broke that they were dating and all of that kind of stuff. Working in a music store in that environment
had its perks.
Had its perks for sure. Who else can we see? Kelly Rowland. Oh my god.
Is she nice?
So sweet and beautiful and stunning. I could not take my eyes off her. She is so bloody beautiful.
That must be. Was this a post Destiny's Child?
This is post Destiny's Child. Was this like she was releasing her solo stuff? Yeah.
And with Nelly, remember Dilemma?
Ah, Dilemma.
Ellie, I love you. Ellie, I see you. Ellie, I love you. I do. You've done so many fabulous fucking things. I love it. What is like? I think you work your little butt off. Yeah, you work your tush off, and that's what I admire about you. Nothing for you is ever you don't take anything for granted. You're always very grateful for everything. What makes you these days, Riz, get up, and what inspires you to keep on chugging? And because I know this, like we were talking about this the other day, like we felt this like heaviness around the world, but you just get up with a smile always. What keeps you chugging on? What is
the crowd, I think, and the sisterhood.
Yeah,
I think it's the tradition of 4 drag queens to entertain the community and take those feelings away from everyone for a moment. And I think it's important for us to go to work and do just that, cheer everybody up and put a smile on everyone's face, take them away from the real world for the 20 minutes that we're on stage entertaining.
Yeah.
And then we get rewarded from that as well, because we get to see their smiling faces and them laughing with us. And I think every morning we wake up and watch the news and go, oh, today's a bit of a shit day. But by the end of the night after a gig,
You're having
life
laughs.
is great. So we're having a great time. We've had a laugh. We've made people happy. We've had a little drink, and we realize that the world is a pretty huge place when it comes to these big things, and that we have it pretty good here in Australia at the moment.
Yeah. That's nice. I like that. You do inspire me to do that, because sometimes I know I can get into the doom and gloom of life. And you've always been there to go, come on, girl, let's fucking go.
Let's just get it done.
Because it's the thing, like, you think about all the craziness that's happening in the world, but we really do have it pretty lucky. And I always take solace in our friendship, like you, me, and Carmen. Like Wednesday nights have been like life-saving, I think, for me.
Yeah, absolutely. For me too.
Yeah.
Just adore it. I look forward to it every week.
Yeah.
And when we're up there having a great time on that stage.
The giggles.
She giggles, the laughs, Carmen being a bitch. Like,
I know. We love our Carmen, but she is our sassy princess, that's for sure. Charisma Belle, I don't want to take it to a dark place, because it doesn't have to be. We're going to go through a journey. But here on What's Loss Got to Do With It, we do like to explore loss in all of its different forms. And you've lived this wonderful, beautiful life. And I was wondering, is there something in your life that a significant loss that you've experienced? Have you lost something, a toy or a member of the family, or something that really has taught you a lot about life and how to value it more? I'm going in deep now. I'm diving in
deep.
I want to know.
There's two huge losses for me. That was losing my grandma, because I used to live with her quite a lot. My mum and my grandma always only ever lived a couple of houses away from each other, or like a street away from each other. So it was always like really close, and it was in Newtown or like in Tempe and stuff, and we're always like super close. And so I was lucky that I had the options of sleeping and living and in different homes with different people. And I spent a lot of my time with my grandma, and she really helped raise me. Losing her was the first time I'd ever experienced
anything, like
any loss, because my family's, we've had other people in the family pass away, but because I was young, I never went to the funerals, and you don't really notice that much as a kid. But Nen was the first person that really I noticed the loss. You'd wake up in the morning and know that she's not there.
Not there.
Loss.
It's like a hole.
It is. Yeah. You know, and you lose that waking up and just go, I might just pop over to Nen's, and then you go, oh, you like forget and then realize, and then you go through a little bit of that loss again, because that was the first one. And
how old were you when she passed?
Oh, I don't even know, to be honest. I was like 13, 14, something like that.
And you process grief as a kid so differently. Because she's so close to you as well, it hits so different. Were you there? Did you know that it was coming, or was it a sudden experience?
Yes and no. Like, she was unwell. She had just before, a little while before she passed, moved away to Orange, which is where the family are from, and she always wanted to go home and be buried back at home. So I think she moved knowing that she was moving so that she's in the place where she wants to be. And so she had a couple of strokes and was unwell, and so we knew that we might not have time, but I wouldn't have a lot of time, but her passing did happen very suddenly, and we didn't get the chance to go and see her a final time, to speak to her and say goodbye, because it was very sudden and at home, and I just woke up one morning and she was not there.
Breaks your heart.
Yeah.
What was some of your favorite things to do with your nan? What did you like to do?
We used to just watch lots of TV together, because obviously I was young, so wasn't able to go out at nights and all of that kind of thing. Like, we would watch The Bill a lot, which is like a UK police drama.
I love that.
Which was so awesome. So we would watch The Bill, was one of our favorite shows. And there's another British TV show comedy called Birds of a Feather, which we would we would just hack ourselves laughing like all the time and just piss ourselves, because it was like just one of the funniest shows. And we'd just be sitting on the couch laughing.
That's what you want to do with your nan.
Yeah,
It's the best fun. That's
it's
why.
fun. It was so good.
And
So
this is
good.
where you learn a lot of lessons because your grandparents always just sort of sit there and they can like and that's where you learn lots of bits about them and they sharing stories. Was she a storyteller?
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She had her secrets though as well. She was very
Oh,
selective
yeah,
about the stories she told.
yeah, yeah,
And so it was good. Yeah, that was really fun. I wish I was older and had a little bit more time to find out more.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
you don't think to ask questions when you're
When you're a
like a
kid,
kid or a teenager. And
yeah.
so I wish that we got a little bit more time so we could ask those questions.
Yeah. Oh, I just love that you had the bill and birds of
Yeah,
a
the
feather.
bill,
It's
birds of a
so
feather.
cute. She would
Wow.
have been
Used
sitting there
to
and
watch
on the
Absolutely
little square
Fabulous.
box.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so she,
Absolutely Fabulous was just coming out, and so we'd be like laughing. And my uncle lived in the same house as her, and we could hear like everyone laughing to the same show, like through the rooms and stuff. It was just pretty wild. It was cool.
Do you think that like watching those shows and stuff as like a kid, do you think that has influenced your like your style and it come into your drag a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely influenced my humor.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
was gonna say
absolutely.
you're
Like I
very
think I
British
learned
in
a
your
lot from that.
humor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely, for
I
sure.
love that.
And
It's
like the
weird. No, go.
timings of the jokes and stuff. I think that all comes from watching the UK TV shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Now that like hearing you host and stuff like that, I can tell that because I think that's where we form our as kids. You form that sense of humor from the things that you were exposed to. And I think that's why I got the same thing with my grandma. I used to watch old Hollywood comedies and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And I think that really does cement you into that a lifelong of what you find funny.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful. I love that for you, Riz. Say, oh, good old Nan.
Good old Nan, Nana Liley. So
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Do you
Such a
think she'd love your
sweetheart.
drag?
I don't know. I think she would have come around to it. Yes.
Mm,
She'd be very proud now, especially
yeah.
like with the success and the fact that I'm not necessarily an ugly drag queen and stuff like that. So I think it would have taken a little time, but she would have got there, yeah, in the end.
Because your mum's very supportive of the
Oh,
drag. She
so
your
supportive.
mum,
Oh, yeah,
Denise. Shout
yeah.
out to Denise.
Hello, mum. Love you,
Hi,
mum.
love you, ma.
Sometimes too supportive. Sometimes she's on other people's profiles and promoting their stuff. Oh, we don't like them, mum. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you? Because you had your grandma and you got your mum's a very strong woman. You got great aunties and your uncle as well. He's gay, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
There
Yeah,
you
Uncle
go.
Kai.
Do you think you've grown up in quite a very feminine family? I
Yeah,
love that.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I haven't really thought about it to be honest, but yeah, we have my dad's not gay dads, my stepdad and my biological dad are pretty butch, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely the women in my life have been the most kind of active and most involved in my upbringing.
Yeah, mate,
Yeah.
I think that maybe you make so much sense, charisma now. I just that's where your motherliness comes from. You've been raised by strong, beautiful women.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I've been
love
very lucky
that.
that way.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't thought about that. You haven't put two and two
No,
together, charisma.
no, I
Look at
haven't.
that.
No.
But so, what do you think that losing your grandma so early? What do you think? Is that a lesson that you've taken away from that now that as you get older and look back in hindsight?
I don't know. I think, oh, that's a tough one, Hannah Conda. Look at you stumping me. Oh, bitch. You know what? I think to make the effort because you never
Yeah,
know when the time is near and when someone you're never going to see someone again. So I think just picking up that phone and just to say hi, even if you've got nothing else to say, just so that you have that opportunity to reach out and let them know that you love them before it's too late. So I
mm,
think yeah, that would be the thing,
making the effort.
making the effort.
I think we all could do that more, to be honest.
Really.
I think we've, especially in the age of social media and like how the distance that we have with each other. I do believe that sometimes we'd rather let things go unsaid than actually deal with things.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
don't necessarily think that's a healthy thing to do.
No, and I think like when you leave things unsaid, the drama that you create in your own head is always worse than
Yeah.
actually just bringing up and dealing with it.
Yeah. The
And I think the
scenarios.
scenarios and oh well, I had the opportunity to say this is what I'd say, and you never actually say the things that you think. It's
No,
like it's
no.
always much nicer and much pulled back and stuff, and everybody's responses is always a lot different to what you've come up with in your head. Take those opportunities and have those tough conversations, because in the long run it will make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, I love that, Riz. God, you're bloody good.
Pretty good.
Oh, you just see, this is what I mean, everyone. She is just an absolute superstar, and it really warms my bloody heart, honestly. And yeah, I thank you for sharing that story about your nan. That really is so special. I know, well, I think it's probably good to come to our sort of final question, which I've been asking everybody, which you touched on now. But I think from the losses you've experienced in your life, like, what are the things you take away and the things that you've found? I think, and I think you touched on it there a little bit, making sure you take those moments. But as you've gotten older and you've experienced all different types of things, what are those things that you found, and any advice you have for people going through those tough times?
To speak to people, to, yeah, just ask for the people around you. Just let them know that you need support when you do, because sometimes people think they're all alone, and a lot of other people don't know how to approach the subject when they know that you might be feeling down, so they just stay silent and quiet. So I think it's up to us to let people know when we need that extra help, or when we need that cuddle, or we need that shoulder to cry on. Just make sure you reach out and let people know that it's okay for them to talk about the things that they know that you're going through. Yeah, and I think the thing that I do, especially with my nan, and that I lost my dog Piccolo
Little
recently
puppy.
as well.
Oh, little pig.
Little Picky,
We
so
love our
gorgeous.
pig.
I'm just looking at a little photo of him now.
Oh, that's
My
Piccolo and
beautiful partner,
Jeremy.
and Jeremy, my partner.
Love our little pig.
I know this is not for everybody, but I have photos like around the house and stuff, and I speak to them like through the photos and say
Oh, I
hello
love that.
every day. And when I go to bed at night, Piccolo's photo is like just in front of us, in front of the bed. So I say goodnight to him and stuff, and make sure that he knows that wherever he might be, that we're still thinking of him and loving him. And we just make sure I have a little moment with both Nan and Pick every day.
Yeah, and your
Yeah.
mum lights the candle.
Mum lights a candle
No,
at Christmas time. That's
Christmas.
right. They're never too far away. So we light that candle
Yeah.
and remember all of the family that have passed, and
Oh,
make sure that everyone's remembered. Yeah.
yeah, I love that. Like the talk, I think my mum does the talking to our little dog that passed away. She always does the ironing, and she's, "Hey, Teddy, do you think this is sweet?" But it's so true. It's a lovely coping mechanism, I think, as well. But also because I actually truly don't believe they're too far away. I reckon they're hearing us.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And I think like when you have that little moment with them, a little chat, it turns like their memory into a happy one, rather
yeah,
than focusing on the grief and focusing on the fact that you miss them so much.
yeah,
Just have that kind of cheerful moment, and I say, hey, love you, hope you're having a good day, that kind of thing. Just so turn that grief into something a little bit positive, and just
yeah.
helps get you through the rest of the day.
Oh, play charisma. That is just beautiful. I love that. No one, like, we've touched on death before on the podcast and like that, but I love the idea of talking to those that have passed, and so that it's just going through that grief and like turning it into something positive, which is,
Yeah.
I think that is a real key, because yes, it's sad, yes, it's hard, yes, it's scary, but you can make something out of that and foster positive energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're a bloody testament to that. And I honestly thank you so much for sharing that with us. You're a bloody dream. And thank you so much for joining us on the show. But Charisma, before you go, where can the
Yes.
people find you? Charisma Belle in all its glory.
I don't know how much longer we've got to list all the venues, but Darlow Bar on Wednesday nights, and Universal to follow. So Wednesday night is a great night to come out to see me, because you also get Come and Get It and Hannah Conda at the same time. Come into Stonewall Hotel Saturdays, Universal on some Fridays. I'm all around town.
Yeah.
Just give me a follow and I'll send you messages of where to find me.
Yeah. What's your handle for the people?
Charisma Belle.
There it is. There it is. You can ring that
No
bell,
more, no
baby.
less.
Ah, Charisma Belle, thank you so much for sharing your story and your
My
words
pleasure,
of
honey.
wisdom. And I hope everyone listening today can and will be feeling all that motherly love that you
so.
radiate. Oh, they will. I feel it all the time. And I'm honored to share you with the people.
Thanks so much. I
Oh, you're
adore you.
welcome, Riz. I love you too.
Love
So
you.
everybody, Charisma Belle, go follow her. Go look out for us. Come and see our shows. And Matt Charisma, I'll see you at work.
See you work.
All right, love you, girl. Bye. We'll be
Bye.
back right after this. Oh my freaking God. Charisma Belle, everybody. I told you at the start, you would see it. You would see the gem of a human being she is, and you did. She's an absolute superstar and a legend. And I am so grateful that we all got to just sit here and experience the joy that she brings into the world. So thank you, Charisma, for being here and sharing out your story with us. I just love you to absolute bits. And I know that you've got a million more fans after this. That's my wishful thinking, to think that I've got a million people listening. Hopefully there are a million people listening. And if there's not, why? Because we're doing a very gay time here at the podcast. But now we've got to get on to our final segment of the show. It is Healing Hands with Little Hands. I have popped out an advice box onto the social media application that we know and love as Instagram, and I asked if anyone needs advice and healing. Why? I hear you ask, Hannah, are you able to do healing? It's because I did my certificate 1 in Reiki, which makes me a qualified hands-on healer. I didn't do the certificate 2, which is remote healing, but I'm just making my own rules and deciding that I am a healer. So I'm going to give my unsolicited advice to someone that has asked a question in my question box. And our question today comes from I Need to Poo. No joke. I need to poo. And they say, as someone who would love to start drag in New Zealand or Australia, what's the best way to get your name out there? That is quite a good question. And I think Charisma answered this a lot in the podcast as well. I need to poo. But I think the big thing that you need to focus on is harnessing reputation within your community, your local community. So that means going out, doing your open mic nights, going and seeing other drag queen shows and other drag king shows, and going meeting the artists, introducing yourself to them, and also, most importantly, introducing yourself to the audience that's around you. I think that's really important. And sometimes I think it's forgotten that we are nothing without our audience. No one's going to show up to your show if you don't have people that like you and want to be around you. And that is fostered by going out and doing the legwork and meeting everybody, hanging out. You don't have to drink or whatever or party, but you do need to make a sort of effort in club environments, which is where we mostly get our start, to foster a relationship with the audience. But that also means that other drag queens will see you, or other drag kings will see you, other promoters will see you, and they go, oh, who's that person? I want to give them a go. And that's how you could get another job. So that is the way that you need to start getting your name out there. Social media, yeah, it's great. It has its moment, but not always does social media translate into ticket sales or people coming into clubs and in to see your shows. So you really need to be fostering those relationships within your local community. And it makes you a more well-rounded person. It makes you better at hosting because you have the ability to talk to anyone, talk to everyone, and see what stories people have. I don't know, people feel valued when you give them a moment of your time. So that's the advice I'd give to you, is that you got to go out there and put feet on the ground into your local community, into your local spaces, and wherever you can, get up, perform, and start building your little fan base. That's the best way to do it. That's the way that I did it. That's the way Charisma's done it. That's the way so many other drag artists have done it. So that's my advice to you. I need to poo. So I wish you well on your drag journey. Welcome to the family. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to get to meet you one day. But for now, that is another episode done and dusted. Thank you for gracing me and Charisma with your time. I appreciate it. I hope that you are now at your destination safely. If you were listening to me while driving or commuting, I hope you've done your ironing or your washing, or I hope you're just having a fabulous time with whatever you're doing. And thank you for letting me infiltrate your life and being a part of your life. I really do appreciate it. And we'll be back soon with another episode of What's Love's Got to Do with It very soon. I love you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit monster.com now.